Good evening, everybody. It gives me immense pleasure to be the moderator of this session titled Alternative Assessment Strategies and Innovative Approaches in Evaluation. Right at the outset, to set the ball rolling as it were and create a base for the discussions that ensue, I'll probably share a few thoughts. Proverbially, we are all aware that examinations have come to be literally the tail that wags the head. And the whole process of learning has got a little complicated, convoluted with this practice, sometimes abhorrent, of examinations. Somewhere along the line, this process of actually testing and assessing the learning has got relegated to something that has become a mere measure of the ability of a student to regurgitate information, vomit out information that is stored without really testing the knowledge that a student has acquired, the understanding that students have gained, application of what information and knowledge that they've gained, or even skills that have got developed. Of late, we also hear of new concepts like higher order thinking skills, HOTS, which are also important. We have seen a lot of freshness in the landscape of assessment of late, with this whole coming in place of comprehensive continuous evaluation, CCE, and this concept of formative and summative assessment. And I think that is a big stride forward, because in a country like ours, where it's very rigor-oriented, examination-driven, and competition is something that is key to, it's almost life-making or breaking at a very young age and stage in life. This process of scarring a child by also declaring him or her a failure at the end of maybe 10th grade or 12th grade is also something that I think has very serious significance, and it's something that also offends our sensitivity and sensibility. I mean, how can the system declare a child as a failure? If anything, it's the systemic failure that we collectively have not been able to do. I would like to share a small experience with this group here, since we are deliberating on this concept of assessment. I, for one, happened to go through what is referred to as homeschooling. In my 11th and 12th grade, I didn't go to a formal school. We were staying in Africa, and I studied at home to actually write what is known as the GCE, General Certificate of Education, A-level examinations conducted by the University of London. And I would like to share, this is about 20 years vintage, or possibly more than that, maybe 25 to 30 years vintage. But I'd like to share a small anecdote or a small experience that I had there, which I think has a great deal of relevance in learning even today. I was a physics student, this is 11th, and a science student, and in 11th and 12th, the practical examinations, for example, when we went, we were given to understand about a month before the exam that the topic of your examination, practical examinations, would be, in our case, it was compound pendulum. We do have a few people here connected with physics who will probably understand this. So you had to, it was not the age of internet, you had to go to libraries, figure out what are compound pendulums and coupled pendulums as well, all about pendulums, read it. So you did some homework, assimilating some knowledge. On the day of the exam, you went to the test, and there was a small sheet of paper which had a lot of instructions written on it. It said, well, this is the equipment given to you, a piece of string, a little bob of weight, there's a stop clock, you have to tie this to a clamp, oscillate it, 20 oscillations, take the time period, and so on. So what was happening? It was probably testing the ability of a student to read, understand, apply it, actually carry it out, and do all this with a sense of integrity, honesty, truthfully. Because while doing this, I still recall midway through the experiment, the string broke and fell down. And I was a little panic-stricken. And the examiner did comfort me by saying that, well, you be honest and record whatever has happened. So it was not a question of, again, the tail or the result wagging, cooking up some results, numbers, and working backward to say that, well, this is what the answer should be. So you actually were encouraging these traits or these characters of integrity, being able to understand, apply your mind, even while you're doing an examination. And I think these are small but very, very significant ways of changing the way examinations are delivered or offered to students. I do hope the group today takes this discussion and gives us different insights into their own experiences. We have a very good panel today, and I'm equally proud of the fact that it's fairly balanced on the gender dimension as well. And I'm sure we'll get a lot of insights. We also have people from other countries, so it will be a very enriching experience. So right at the outset, may I invite Shri Manoj Agarwal, my senior colleague, who is also the State Project Director in the Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan from the Government of Gujarat. Over to you.